Now I would like to introduce to you the Black American Leadership Alliance. I'd like to call up the Black American Leadership Alliance. Come on up, folks. I forgot to mention Indiana.
And Tennessee.
And Tennessee. Sorry about that, folks. And everybody else who's here. Michigan. I didn't know y'all were here. Michigan tradition right there. There's another podium down there.
Go Broncos.
I'd like to introduce to you the Black American Leadership Alliance. I'd start, and we're just going to give some brief comments, just so you know who has been working on this issue. We know how hard we've been working on it. I'll start with Dr. Morris right now.
Hello, everybody. God bless you. My comments are simple. As Churchill said, never have so many owed so much to so few. So many of us who are citizens owe so much to so few of us who really are in this fight. God bless all of you. Thank you for coming.
I'm really grateful for the opportunity to be here, and I'm glad to see all of you. And thank you for your spirit, your undying faith and commitment. It shall be done.
That was Bishop Felton Smith, and now we'll have Tom Broadwater of Americans for Work.
Thank you, Leah. For many of you, the Obama administration has called this the defining civil rights issue of our time. They have called granting amnesty to millions of illegal aliens and granting access to millions of legal, inexpensive computer scientists the defining civil rights of our time. I'll tell you that it is not the defining civil rights of our time, issue of our time. This is the defining economic issue of our time. We are about to see the end, the evisceration of the Black American community and their elected officials, because I cannot call the Congressional Black Caucus leaders. I cannot call the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People leaders. I will say these are the traditional sources that Black Americans have relied on, that they should no longer. Thank you so much.
Now I have Kevin Martin, author, business owner, number of different things. Kevin Martin.
First of all, I want to say thank you for turning out one of the hottest days of the year in Washington, D.C. This is the defining moment of our time. Nativists, racists, all the names you've been called. I take that as a badge of honor. I stand for the American worker. I stand for the American people. I'm not anti-immigrant. I'm anti-amnesty. Okay? I'm a veteran. I've served with legal immigrants who want to share the American dream, who put forth the effort, who go out there and fight for their adopted country, and then some politician, whether it be there or down at the White House, is going to say, oh, well, yay, for political gain, let's make all the illegals who came here and broken the laws, what's the word they use? Provisional citizens. Is there anything that's known as a provisional criminal? What about a provisional criminal? Okay, so provisional criminals should only go to jail for maybe half the time. Keep up the energy, keep up the work, keep up what we're doing, because everyone who says they stand for the American worker is here on this ground and not in that house behind us. We are tired of our congressmen, we are tired of our politicians putting illegals first and American workers second. I'd rather have a check than a government check. I'd rather have a job than a government check. I'd rather be able to take care of my family than a government check. So let's keep fighting a good fight, everyone.
We've got former Congressman Vernon Robinson, former City Council member Vernon Robinson from Winston-Salem, North Carolina.
I'm just checking to see if the drones are out today. Hey, where are the North Carolina Patriots out there? Well, I'm concerned about the men and women in black just down the street because they've twisted the Constitution into all sorts of contortions, including on birthright citizenship. I want to ask you, if a French couple has a baby on a tourist visa, is that an American citizen? No. If two Pakistanis on student visas studying nuclear physics have a baby here, is that an American citizen? No. And if an illegal alien skulks across the border and has a baby, is that an American citizen? No. You're exactly right. I want to thank you for coming out to stop Amnesty, to stop unlimited birthright, and to fight illegal immigration invasion. Thank you for doing the hard work of freedom.
And Charles Butler from The Take with Charles Butler.
Thank you, Leah. Thank you. Well, welcome all Americans. I'm glad you're here. We've been on the Freedom Plaza putting things together, and many of you I've interviewed this morning. I just want to take a minute and reflect, because being here today, I remember 50 years ago, next month, August 1963, my mother and my father made my two brothers and I sit and watch Dr. King march on Washington for jobs and freedom. Not for civil rights, for jobs and freedom. Here we are 50 years later, and I just find it so ironic, 50 years later, that I'm standing here speaking at this event, a march for jobs again. No jobs, no freedom. But I find it, my mom said at the time, she said, this is very important, and it's going to make things better for you. Well, it has to some extent, but I can't say that for my kids. You won't be able to say that for your kids, because these people down the street are trying to bring 44 million illegal or legal workers into this country. You know, the statistics are that by 2040, foreign-born workers will outnumber native-born workers. If you look at the latest statistics that are out, native-born workers have been demolished in terms of getting jobs by foreign workers. We've lost something like 5.3 million jobs, while they've gained 13-something million jobs. I mean, whose country is this at the end of the day? So when we say we want to take our country back, people say we're racist, we're this, we're that, but we're really not. And I don't have much time here, so let me just segue to this, because I think this is something that we should focus on. W.E.B. Du Bois and Booker T. Washington disagreed on philosophies in terms of black advancement, but they agreed on one thing, and that's that immigration negatively impacted black Americans in terms of pursuing the American dream. In fact, they wrote a book in 1907 called, what was the name of the book? Oh, The Negro in the South. So they always attribute the book to Washington, but actually, if you read the book, Washington and Du Bois would contribute to the book. I'd just like to leave us with this, and that is simply that Barbara Jordan wrote a commission. She was commissioned by Clinton to do a commission on immigration reform in 1995. And she made many logical and pragmatic recommendations, and a few were: eliminate the family chain policies, luring the immigrants into the country. And her most salient point was deportation is critical. She also concluded that those who should get in, those who should be kept out are kept out, and those who should not be here will be required to leave. I want to thank you.
And lastly, we've got Jamil Shaw from California.
Good afternoon. My name is Jamil Shaw, and I'm a pissed off dad. My son Jamil Shaw II was murdered in 2008 by an illegal alien from Mexico. He was in the 18th Street gang. He was in the custody of the sheriff department, and he was released. The same day he got out, he been looking for black people to kill so he could escalate into the 18th Street gang. My son was coming home from the mall, never been in trouble. three-time MVP, Player of the Year, had a good chance. You know, Stanford, Rutgers was looking at him, and he was shot dead on our street, 3 houses down. The guy that killed him is in jail right now. He's on death row in San Quentin. So, you know, we did our job. We did our job, but you have to understand that he's not the only one. There's a lot of people in danger. And if you give everybody amnesty, right now in the Senate bill, there's a provision that if you're in a gang illegally in the country, you can still get amnesty. You know, and we don't want that. We don't want that. So make sure you vote. Make sure you let the people know that you're not for amnesty. We don't want amnesty. We want Americans first. Everything is about Americans first. All right, thank you.